Hi, this is Leslie Lopez with the Lopez Consulting Firm, here to reevaluate the partnership between Infinity and Red Bull in the Formula One racing. The partnership began when Red Bull needed Infinity's scratch-resistant paint for their cars. However, Infinity began realizing that this could bring marketing strategies into the global market. With the partnership, Infinity noticed that they would gain global brand awareness as well as gaining more markets in non-existent segments in the global system. Formula One racing has the image of cars having to follow specific specifications that shows that the cars are designed safely to race. With this, Infinity can demonstrate to the world, as well as non-existent markets, that their designs are safe, as well as durable with an engine built to last. These elements show that Infinity joining Red Bull in the Formula One racing will not only increase brand awareness, but also build brand recognition, and the image will increase for both Infinity and Red Bull. Through the Formula One racing, Infinity noticed a spike in popularity around the world, opening new dealerships in developing countries such as China. Speaking of China, they actually doubled the sizing of dealerships within a couple of years, doubling from 60 to over 200 dealerships in the Chinese country. Not only that, but they went against all other target markets compared to Mercedes-Benz and Ferrari and populated in smaller cities. By providing more dealerships into smaller cities in China, Infinity was able to gain profits instead of losing profits like other dealerships like Mercedes-Benz and Ferrari had predicted. The 7Ps in the marketing mix of Red Bull and Infinity included product and service, the price, promotion, place, packaging, positioning, and people. For Red Bull, the service was the name, because Red Bull are known to venture into many extreme sports, including the Formula One racing, which they had already been doing before they partnered with Infinity. For Infinity, the product was the new cars and the engines that were experimented and built with Sebastian Vettel's recommendations to go more towards the race car drivers and their likings, as well as the luxury car drivers. For the pricing, Red Bull didn't put as much money as many would think, because Infinity paid Red Bull royalties for using their name on their cars. However, Infinity didn't have to pay the $500 million level for a startup from scratch when entering the Formula One racing. So in this segment, it helped both Infinity and Red Bull partnering for the Formula One race. The promotion for Red Bull was Formula One racing is an extreme sport, and Red Bull is known to advertise through extreme sports, so it helped them gain more momentum through this promotion. Now Infinity, because they wanted to gain more global brand awareness, this helped their promotion, because not only were they a luxury car before entering the partnership, but now they could also attract extreme sport followers. The place for the marketing mix is worldwide, because every single person in the globe loves to watch extreme sports, specifically the Formula One race. The packaging for Red Bull is extreme because they love enduring extreme sports for their marketing mix. For Infinity, it's a luxury car that is built with an engine like a sports car. The positioning for Red Bull is extreme sports. That is their main target, their main way to promote. And for Infinity, it shows that Infinity cars are built to last even in extreme sports like F1 racing because many think that luxury cars can't endure the racing of that sort. The people that Red Bull mostly tend to promote towards is sports followers, specifically extreme sports followers. Infinity was more towards luxury car followers, but when they partnered with Red Bull in the Formula One racing, they also went more towards the racing fanatics, extreme sports fanatics, which helped both in this segment. For the sponsorship and the promotion, um, there was a leverage between the two companies. Infinity, like I said before, had to pay royalties to Red Bull for using the name. At the same time, Red Bull had the ability to use the race cars in advertisements, so it gave both an advantage because they were able to promote each other in their own specific ways, even though many felt to believe that Red Bull did gain more benefits in this partnership, but the benefits for both companies outweighed the costs. The initiative in the public relations was done by both Infinity and Red Bull, yet Red Bull was the main spokesperson for the races, even though Infinity was the title holder for Infinity Red Bull Racing. Whereas the sponsorship goes both ways, Red Bull sponsored Infinity in the races and Infinity sponsored Red Bull by the use of the cars in advertisements. Hospitality was done by both Infinity and Red Bull, but mostly by Infinity because they are the ones that provided the service of buying the vehicle and providing the race car for the races. Merchandising, however, was done mostly by Red Bull because all race car merchandise had Red Bull's logo with possibly a tiny logo of Infinity, and this enabled to think that Red Bull did gain more benefits and Infinity had the most cost. Social media was done by both groups. However, they also shared an account which was Infinity Red Bull Racing that showed their partnership and the sponsorship within the market, which gained notice in the world. Compared to the competition, however, Infinity did beat the competition like Ferrari and Mercedes-Benz, which were two big and which are still big sports cars and luxury cars markets because they both are also in the Formula One racing. However, Ferrari and Mercedes-Benz had to start from scratch with a 500 million level startup. Infinity didn't have to pay that specific money because they partnered with Red Bull and Red Bull was already entered in the race. All they had to do was pay for the cars and the engines and sponsored royalties to Red Bull. Ferrari and Mercedes didn't think of using the race as a helping hand in global brand awareness because they felt that they were doing quite well on global terms, yet they weren't doing so well in developing countries. They didn't think of entering like Infinity to gain more momentum in those markets, gaining more global share, gaining market share in existing markets and non-existing markets. As we look over the schematics of the partnership between Red Bull and Infinity, we can see that it benefited both companies. The association between these two gained important market share in the market globally. If Red Bull and Infiniti never partnered, then Infiniti wouldn't be doing as wide it is today and wouldn't be known around the Formula One racing fanatics. Infiniti Red Bull Racing was a key element to racing brand recognition, global brand awareness, global market share, and they did a great job at it.